left and right. My poop comes out of there. Think again. My diarrhea.
Capri Sun. I'm Eric Cartman and I'm really fat. Get the fuck off my porch! Get your ass off this motherfucking porch, bitch!
Wait. Before you try to kill her or me, I just want to say something. You, Triangle and Square, you two look like Shakespeare character recolors. You look like Teardrop from BFB/BFDI/EDC, and you're water. I'll give you 2 plus points for that since I like water. Rough John, I'm so sorry, but your boots and gloves are the worst thing the clothing industry ever came up with. And you look like you came from Lululand, except it was invented by emos. You two, I'm pretty sure you can the painting of a pirate from SpongeBob for some reason. Watch Pirates of the Caribbean 24/7 and constantly say art or something. WWTG2. DNF. That's it. That's what I thought of. And you know what DNF stands for? Disney. And you too. The problem is that you're French. Well, I don't have anything against French people, but I'm going to assume you're stale for some reason.
No.
Challenge 7. Fix the bust. I was certainly glad that Softcheon explained to me how a bus works. Otherwise, however, I would have been able to actually help out. Then Shovelly hands me the so-called Jack and tells me to start working. He did certainly piss me off a bit by calling me kiddo. I mean, I'm literally 23. He did say sorry for it though. I do notice something on the Jack, which turns out to be instructions on how to use it. I don't know, man. Literally insert instructions, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But I did probably take too long reading it over, since the next thing I know, after almost finishing the instructions, I hear, most likely, Shovelly saying that I'm using it wrong. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. What do you expect from a person who doesn't know how the Jack works and wasn't told how to use one? So then I proceed to work with it. I also did think that I should have probably used the other Jack I found in the garage to fully get the bus off the ground, so I installed that too. The bus is now lifted. To be honest, I did stand there for a while afterwards, for I wasn't sure when to put the gasoline in, since maybe there was a sequence or something. Maybe I just didn't want to mess up and end up blowing us up by accident somehow. I did overhear people talking about food and something about bus seats and such. And then found out we were heading to that city somewhere around Mistletoe Mountain, which did remind me of T, who showed me a good view of the place. I was rather sad that she got possessed. Oh, and I believe that at some point something happened to Shovely that caused him to go back into his presumed hideout. Fire Spirit? Wasn't sure about what he was doing either at the time anymore. Anyways, since I was probably the only one available at the time, I decided to take over Shovely's role by changing out the tires. I took the wrench and continued Shovely's work. It wasn't exactly that bad taking off the, what did Softion call it? Nuts? Yeah. Shovely did eventually come back, and I believed he grabbed the gasoline too. It is only now that I've actually realized that I could have put in the gasoline right after installing the jacks instead of just being there, but I just continued removing the nuts anyways and just pretended I hadn't just found that out. Eventually, we had a couple more people help out, and we were getting pretty close to getting this thing fixed, so soon enough, the last tire was secured on, and well, we were done with the bus. Alright, another text entry, which is this one's number 10. You could just pause this and read this through yourself or not. I never explained this in like the first one, but whatever. Entry is in the central area, still thinking to herself before indulging themselves into maze physically. Great, another maze, and we have to find these orbs or whatever this god told us to find. How fun. From what I was told, we have a map this time. Well, except that you can't even read a portion of it at all. Mentioning all those orbs, how the hell would I be able to hold them all? Oh yeah, how could I ever forget? My pocket space, and I bet I could get to those orbs from there. She thought, thinking that she could simply do this without any worries. And she proceeded to go inside into her pocket dimension, which resembled a large, simple room filled with various objects she'd collected over time. And she manages to get a bag and proceeds to try to get her way back, thinking of being in front of one of the orbs already. It didn't work? She questioned herself in disbelief. Turns out she ended up at the beginning where she was taking the first time, so she tries again, thinking that this might have been a mistake. It failed. Again. Apparently it doesn't work for some reason, so she sighs in defeat, walking into one of the maze entrances. After a while, she had already gotten 2 orbs, probably thanks to those sheets she was given back then, especially to test her visual abilities. Who am I kidding? How could some simple paper maze for your average person help you out here? Entry doesn't even have the paper and has to try to remember what it looks like at all. As Entry continues to walk through the maze that honestly almost seems to be larger than what you would think, she starts to become rather a bit paranoid. The light, the plain white walls. Oh, I just want to get through this stupid maze. I feel like I'm an experiment, she complained, then ended up shaking her head as she realized that she was thinking this way. Bah, who am I kidding? You can obviously find these orbs in no time, she boasted in an attempt to make herself feel better. It had been more of a while, and she'd found most of the orbs available, since others may have already obtained them. But there's probably a few more, and the bad thing is that she's slowly getting tired too from all this walking. These walls are starting to seem like they're getting longer and more endless to Entry as well. I only have 1, 2 left. Wasn't there 8 orbs? I think. Entry had accidentally walked into one of the pedestals that was holding the orb upon it. Because Entry bumped into it, distracted by their own thoughts, it had fallen off, rolling about. Rubbing on where she had felt most of the impacts since they fell, she realizes that the orb is rolling off, so she had to quickly get up to try and chase it, with heavy steps, as she's tired. And unfortunately, she trips and crashes onto the ground, having the orb roll even farther away from her. Ah, fuck. And I was so close. And she whined, then lowering her head to face the floor. And she's trying to catch her breath as well. I just want to get out of here. This guy's game sucks ass. Entry had laid on the floor for a while for a somewhat familiar voice to be heard. Entry doesn't bother to look up, though. Entry? God, what are you doing on the floor? It was Shovelly and these two other people that Entry had seen either once or twice. Or foul rolled. Didn't get it. Entry exhaustedly mumbled, trying to give Shovelly the hint that she's very, and I mean just very tired. Y'all wanna come with us? We can look for it. I guess. Yeah. Entry responded, slowly getting up while grabbing onto the bag of the orb she currently had. So then, the whole group had been walking and such, with Entry just trying to catch up behind, and managed to find the one that Entry had lost and pretty much gave up on looking for. So after that, they managed to return back to the beginning to meet the others who did come back from the maze. And well, everyone is finally done with the game and will then be safely returned back to the hotel. Right?
Hey guys, today I'm going to do parkour because I have to do it. Wow, that was pretty easy. I can't believe I actually...
75 years later.
Holy crap, I actually made...
Okay, now this time, this is my final entry, which I sped run for very short time, actually. Yeah. Okay, what the hell is that? Something, but there's no time for any more chit-chat. What do you mean by there's no time? We don't even know what it... Watch out! Sorry, I'm just laughing a little bit too much watching this. Almost fell. Are you right? You weren't hurt or anything. I'm okay, Stardust. And how are we supposed to kill this thing? You have to aim for its eye. Hey, Stardust, I know we don't talk much, but you can lift things up, right? Yeah, I can. Entry looks around and finds a loose chunk of the island and attempts to get it somewhat close to Stardust. It is not very large, but could fit in Entry's arm. You think you can throw that at blind Cyclops? Yeah, sure, bro. Heads up, guys. Something's gonna attack again. Not even mildly concerned that the fire barely missed him. Drama. Am I dead? No, I couldn't. This doesn't even look like a place to be dead in. What kind of place is this anyway? Hello? File? Mm-hmm. Holy shit, is that actually you? But aren't you at the... There isn't much time for me to explain every detail. What do you mean? We're literally in a dark void. You are not dead. You're unconscious. Well, that's rude. I don't remember you interrupting me this often. You need to let me talk. Okay. When you wake up, you'll be met with someone familiar, and it will be that missing puzzle piece to the death of something. It's up to you to figure out what to do. Did you catch that? Hey, can I ask something? Go on. Are you even File, or are you just impersonating him just so I can trust you? Or are you just my imagination? I'm him. This is real Entry. Well, File would care. He would have just thrown some information at me and leave. Oh. I'm sorry, Entry, but it was for your sake. My sake? You literally just left me alone. You lied to me. I came with me. You know that I already said that I'd always stick with you. I suppose I'm in the wrong. I should have explained everything to you instead of just hiding everything from you. I probably wasn't looking at all the factors correctly. I thought too hard on it and just couldn't wait. No. It's my fault. I was selfish and wasn't thinking about how it probably could have been possible for both of us to escape. And that you still decided to sacrifice your own freedom for mine, and how you didn't want me to keep on living in that damn hellhole for the rest of my life. I'm so sorry, File. I always thought of you as a bad person and doubted you, and... It's okay, Entry. I understand. I'm just glad that you understand now, and that myself does too. But I think we have to say goodbye. But I promise you that we'll find each other one day. I truly do promise. And I promise you that I won't ever doubt you again. Sorry, I need a coughing break. I've been having issues with that. Entry seems to wake up, and Gap is nearby, who notices that Entry has gained consciousness once again. Stardust seemed to have been watching over Entry, though.
Finally, you're awake. Thought you'd be asleep for so long that I'd get too tired to fight and everyone would die.
Gap? Wait, what happened? Something seems to be very pissed. Like always. I'm sorry. Gap seems to be countering its with his punches with their shapes, as well as serving as a distraction. Also, the island and everything around it seems much more beat up than it was before. Excuse my weird talking. Jeez. When Gap finally had the chance, it proceeded to create another of their spears, and it was to be tossed over the Entry. Use this. I believe that you might know what to do. What to do? I'm sorry. The way you freaking said this, I'm sorry. It does take a bit, and as Entry looks around, she manages to figure out something. It was quite simple since she had enough information on how to take down something. Stardust, I know it might be sudden, but if you still have the energy to, well... but you still have the energy to, well, lift rocks and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Alright, Hey everyone, break up those loose pieces by the island edges and bring them close here. I've got a plan. As quickly as those who decided to contribute, they've managed to get everything needed, and most know how everything should play out by then as well. Which I'm not explaining here. I'm a tad bit lazy. Hee hee ha ha ha. Alright, are you ready? Yeah, and I believe you can do this too, Entry. God, I'm cringing so hard by reading dialogue. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Stardust proceeds to lift a few rocks, and then she would step out on one. Though she almost loses her balance completely, she manages to stay stable. Technically, Entry does parkour, but hard mode. Reference that one challenge entry I had. This goes very quickly after Entry manages to get a hand at this, though, because we gotta act fast. Apparently, Gap had also come along, who turns out to still be acting as a distraction at the most. And a few last rocks, Entry just proceeds to sprint and jump close to where something's eye was. Because it ended up being distracted, something fails to swipe Entry away like a fly. Now! Upon command, Gap proceeds to do something that causes the blade of the spear, in quotes, to grow larger, most likely to pierce something eye much more efficiently.
Be gone, you damn sexist demon!
I'm sorry. Be gone, you damn sexist. Anyways, this was my speech for it. That's all, folks. You can either decide whether Entry actually did it or fails after all of that. By the way, this season was truly very fun, and I'm glad I was able to participate. I'm not reading through this, but you can just pause and stuff. So yeah. And yeah, that should be it.
Like this dude can do jack shit.